Hello everyone, welcome to training and development class. Uh, in previous class, we have seen different off-the-job methods, and in today's class, let us see what are the advantages and disadvantages of off-the-job training method. Okay, so before we going to learn about the advantages of off-the-job trainings, let us just have a glance of what is off-the-job training. Okay, so you know that off-the-job training is all about you receive the training outside the organization. You will not receive in the at workplace. You will not receive any training program or any job knowledge at workplace, so you will learn everything about the job related skill, and you acquire the job related knowledge outside the organization, or maybe I can say training center. Okay. So here organization will set up a separate infrastructure facility, separate training facility, in order to provide them a knowledge, the job knowledge. Example I can give you here: if suppose if you are giving a training, if you're training a salesman, so we cannot explain or we cannot explain the selling procedure of a product, on spot. We cannot explain. So what we can do, so we can take all salesmen in a classroom, and we can explain everything about the procedure, like how to sell the product and what is the product all about, and what is the feature also, all about, and who's the customer, how we can attract them, and how yes, how we can motivate them to buy a product. Yes. So this is how you explain. Only you explain everything. You will provide some theoretical knowledge in the classroom. Okay. And taking another example, like software developer. Suppose if it is software developer, so definitely he needs a basic, or I can say is basic information he needs, some foundation he needs in kind of theory. So in order to develop a software of the company, he must be having the a complete knowledge of the company software, what kind of software the company is using. Yes or no? So here I can say web technology. Okay, here in order to develop a software, a person or an employee, he should be having the complete knowledge of web technology. He will be very good in web technology. Okay. So how you can provide, so we cannot explain in a workplace. So here we take the software developer in a classroom, then we explain about the technology, like web, what webs companies are using, and what software the company is focusing. Okay, so we can explain everything in a classroom, maybe for a month, maybe for a week. Okay, so that is how you follow, and that is how you use of the job training in a company. Okay, so let us see the advantages and disadvantages of the job training. And also here training trainee here, they learn job related skills through lecture or the classroom method, and the case study and role play, and and also other different methods. So using different methods, they learn the job related skill. So let us see the advantages one by one. Yes, so it's an effective method. How it is an effective method? So we say that off the job training is an effective method. How? Okay, so here you know that here a trainer are the specialist. Okay, taking an example of classroom training. So we know that we will call the experts from the different, outside. Okay, so we call the experts from the outside of the organization. So outside the organization, maybe we call from different, educational institutions, or maybe we can call from different, universities, or reputed institutions, or the colleges, or maybe we call different industries industrialist. Okay, so here the training will be provided by the experts. Okay, so here they mainly focus on the experts. Okay, so when we have experts people, when we have a specialist, definitely we can, learn the concept. We will acquire the knowledge very easily, and we get enough information about the job. Yes or no? Let's say if it is a personality development. Suppose if you're going to, conduct a personality development for your employees, maybe you will have to improve the communication skills among your employees. So what you will do, you will just call a person, or maybe an industrialist from different, maybe from other reputed, industry, or maybe you will call the English professor, or maybe from different universities. Okay, that is how you call them, and that is how you know use experts in your training program. That is how they acquire, right? So but in case of on the job training, what will happen there? So there we won't find any experts. So what will happen there? The employees who are working in the organization, they will act as a trainer. They will only provide the training to the employees. So there they will, company will not call any experts from the outside. They'll see the existing resources, like existing workers in the organization. So with the help of existing workers, it provides the training. Yes, when we see the existing workers, they are not called as experts. Okay, they will be having the experience in the a particular organization, but they won't be having too much they are not called as to experts or the specialist. Okay, when we do not have experts, so it is less that we learn, and we will not get enough information, right? So here, in the of the job training, so because of experts, because of specialists, a Chinese get effect a Chinese get a lot of information. He can learn enough things to do a particular job, and that is how we can say that it is an effective method. Okay, it's a kind of it makes effectiveness among the Chinese, or among the participants, or maybe the employees. Okay, and talking about the next advantage, that is high productivity. Yes, how it leads to high productivity. Okay, so here, since the employees are they're not involved in the workplace here, so you know that here the trainees or the employees, they will receive the training program outside the organization. So since they will not involved in the production process, so and once they done with the training program, then they'll come back to the organization. They'll come back to the real workplace. And here we know that because of a training center, because of experts, a trainer, or maybe because of experts, or the specialists, a trainees, or maybe employees, they become experts, and they become skilled workers. Okay, so here by having experts, by having specialist, specialized trainer, employee, or maybe a trainer, he can he can learn enough things, and he becomes a skilled employee, he becomes a skilled worker. And we know that when we have a skilled worker, when we have a trained, well trained worker, definitely we can increase the productivity of the organization. Okay, so here, off the job training, that basically provides the skilled and well-trained workers to the organization, and that is how it tries to increase the productivity of the organization. But when it comes to on-the-job training, there we can see employees are involved in the working environment. So at the same time they learn, at the same time they work. So that is how they, when they work and when they learn the things while working, and it's a kind of confusion what they have, and the productivity of the organization will be involved in the 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 Chinese part. Okay, even Chinese also, they have to work for the productivity of the organization there. Definitely when they are initially, when they learn the things, this the work speed will be very slow. They cannot work with very, they cannot work quickly, they cannot produce, they cannot produce units very quickly. That is how they may the speed of the work will be very slow, and that will lead to the lower productivity, and you cannot achieve the high productivity in the on the job training. Okay, since initially you will learn the things there while doing the work, and the speed of while you are learning, and definitely you cannot give the high productivity. You cannot increase your speed up. Okay, the speed will be slow. But here in the off the job training, you will be trained well, and you will be you have become a skilled employee there in the organization. After you receive the off the job training, then you directly come to organization, and it's very easy that you can increase the production of the organization. So let us see the next advantage. Next advantage of off the job training is it minimizes errors. How it minimizes errors? Okay. Yes, in on-the-job training. Okay, so in on-the-job training, we can see that their trainees will be involved in the workplace. They receive the job knowledge, they learn the job-related skill in the workplace. So they'll be working at the same time they'll be learning the things. Of course, when they are learning the things, they'll be very slow in the learning the things, and they wouldn't be having too much aware of the the machines or the equipments that is arranged in the organization, or maybe in the factory outlet. And also you don't get too much time to practice the job related skills. You won't get time. You won't have enough time to practice the things. So when you have no practice to do the job, definitely it may lead to accident, or maybe you will definitely make many, you will commit many mistakes when you have no practice. Okay, when you don't have any, you don't have a proper practice, definitely you will commit mistake. You will you will not able to uh, produce the expected units or expected production. You cannot able to give the expected production. Sometimes when you're not having the enough information or enough knowledge about the machines or the equipments over there in the organization, or maybe about the job, so it may lead to accident also. You may uh, break down the machines also. Okay, that is how it leads to more errors when it comes to on the job training. But in off the job training, what happens, we don't see that trainees or the employees who receive the job knowledge in the workplace. They receive the job knowledge in the outside the organization, that is maybe in the training center. So here the training center or the reputed institutions, okay, training institutions, so they will make trainees to handle the job. Okay, they will prepare the trainees for future challenges. Okay, so here training center, they will prepare the trainees or the employees to handle the machines, to handle the job in future. Okay, so here finally I can say it just prepares them for the future challenges of the job, to maybe how to handle the job. So it makes them experts, it makes them a skilled and best employees. Okay, definitely when we have a skilled and trained workers, they will be having the enough knowledge about the machines and the equipments that will be over there in the organization. So they will not make too much mistake. Mistake would be there, but not and not more. Maybe I can say less. Okay, the mistakes will be less. And also here they will try to reduce the number of accidents. Okay, so that is how by having off the job training we can minimize the errors, we can reduce the number of accidents. Yes, talking about the next advantage, that is no disturbance here. Here when Chinese are involved, they are not involved in the workplace. Okay, so here they won't be having any disturbance while they are learning the things. So since you know that here employees, they learn the job knowledge in a place which is totally away from the workplace. Okay, here they'll not learn the job knowledge, at workplace. So since when they learn the job related knowledge in a training center or maybe outside the organization, so they will be not having any disturbance. It's a kind of peaceful environment they get. We know that in order to learn the job knowledge, in order to acquire the things, so we need a peaceful environment there. Okay, suppose if you have too much disturbance, it is not able to concentrate, it is not able to focus on the things. So we cannot focus on the things like that we are what we are going to learn. Suppose if it is there is no disturbance, then easily we can focus on what we want to do and what we want to acquire, right? So here in off-the-job training, there won't be any disturbance to acquire the things. Employees or the trainees, they can easily learn the things. Okay. And also one more I can say here, once after you receive the training program, you'll become experts, and also you won't be having any confusion, and you can easily work in the organizations too. Okay, but in the off the job on the job training, what happens in on the job training, since you receive the job knowledge at the workplace, it's a kind of disturbance you get. That means the disturbance may be from the other workers, maybe the other the existing workers who are working in the organizations, because you need to learn the job knowledge from the existing workers only, because you have to observe the existing workers there, then you have to learn it. It's a kind of disturbance you get. You cannot able to, because of the the noise of the machines, or because of the noise of the equipments, or maybe because of noise of your the other workers. Okay, so you are not able to focus on what you want to learn. Okay, it's little difficult there in the on the job training. And also there we can see lot of disturbance arise in the workplace. And in order to by having too much disturbance, maybe sometimes that leads to low productivity also, and the employees cannot able to achieve the organization expect the organization achieve organization objective or maybe goal also. But here we don't have any disturbance. Okay, we don't get any disturbance to learn the things or maybe to acquire the things. Okay, so these are the four major advantages of the job training. Okay, so let us talk about the disadvantages of the job training. Talking about the disadvantages or drawbacks of the job training, here it's a expensive method. It's a more expensive method compared to on the job training. So we can see in on the job training, everything will be set up in the workplace itself. Okay, so there we won't see that they set up outside the organization. So it's not like that. They set up everything in a workplace. So that is how they make trainees to learn at workplace, and they'll not spend any amount on building the infrastructure facilities, or they'll not call any experts. So since when they'll not call the experts, then they'll not they'll not spend amount on the experts, since they use the existing worker as in trainers. But when it comes to off the job training, we can see that here everything is in outside. You will set up everything outside the organization. Here you have to you have to spend amount on building the infrastructure, like classroom. You have to build up. You have to set up the proper classroom, and you have to use the different technologies, and you have to spend on the training materials. Again, you have to spend on the food and accommodations of trainers. Suppose if the trainer is from the other country, suppose if you are calling them from the abroad, again you have to see the flight ticket, or maybe the traveling expenses of them and accommodation facilities, and also you have to give them a fair a salary too. You have to pay them a fees. Okay, so everything is your expensive only, so you have to spend. Okay, here the benefit only you get it get is that only the knowledge of the Chinese. So if they have become skilled worker, then it's a benefit. Suppose if they fail to acquire the job knowledge in the classroom training, again it's a loss for the company. Okay, so in that way we can say that off the job training which leads to more expense. Okay, I can say it's an expensive method, so it leads to high cost. Talking about the next disadvantage or the drawback, it is less effective. Okay, so here off the job training is less effective. How? Yes, so here off the job training is less effective than the on the job training method because it is conducted outside the working environment, and also employees need extra induction training to handle their job. Definitely, see here, when we work in this, when we receive the training program in the place, like in the actual working environment, and even after training gets over, also we have to continue with the same work environment, right? So we won't, change our work environment since we will be knowing the work environment, because when we have trained here only, that means so we will be having the some kind of connection, close connection we will be having with the work environment. Even after the training program gets over also, it is very easy for us to adopt certain changes, and we can do our work in a good way, and in a convenient way. But in case of the job training, we can see that here the Chinese will learn the training job knowledge in somewhere else, and they work somewhere else. Here the place will be varied. Okay, so they learn in different place, and they you know apply in different place. The transfer of learning, okay, here the transfer of learning is difficult. So we know that, so we learn in the classroom, and we get a lot of theoretical concept there, so there we don't learn the practical things. And when we have only theoretical knowledge, and suppose if we jump to the direct workplace where we have to work practically, it is not possible. So we'll be having a lot of confusion that uh, about the work environment, about the job related skill. So here we need even after having the off the job training, we need certain time, we need extra training to handle the equipment, to handle our job. Okay, so that is how we can say it is less effective. Okay, and talking about the next disadvantage, the next disadvantage or drawback of off-the-job training is dissatisfaction. So here, off-the-job training which leads to dissatisfaction among employees. See here, since uh, training is conducted artificially outside the organization or maybe outside the workplace, so employees cannot learn properly in this training method. See here, the training place is different and the working place is different. Here they learn somewhere else and they apply the job knowledge in somewhere else, and they feel something kind, some uncomfortable they feel, because they think that the working in area is different, and different from the training area, because training area and working area won't be the same. The standard or maybe the work atmosphere is totally different, and the transfer of learning is not possible. And also if the training program is not good, then they feel they feel unhappy, I can say, which leads to dissatisfaction. Okay, so here they will not satisfied from the off the job training. Okay, they always, because you know that, so instead of sitting in the classroom and listening the big lecturer, it is not you know it is, you feel that it's boring also, and you may not feel happy also sometimes. Okay, suppose if you learn the same thing in the job area, like if you're learning the practical things, then you'll be happy and you'll be satisfied, and nobody wants to uh, you know uh, sit in a classroom that they have to learn the theory concept. Okay, no one wants, they want both theory as well as practical too. But here you just deal with the theoretical things, and totally theory, listening the theoretical aspects, it's totally boring, and definitely it leads to dissatisfaction. But in the on the job training, you learn practical things there, you learn the job knowledge practically in the workplace, automatically you feel happy than the work, than the off the job training. Talking about the next disadvantage here is that no production. Since here Chinese cannot take part in the production process, because they'll be receiving the job knowledge in the outside. Because when the organization is ask them to attend the training program, maybe in the outside, like in the training center, here the company will send its employees to the training center, or maybe reputed institutions to receive the job knowledge. Then that time employees cannot, they cannot take the part of the work in the organization, they cannot able to work, because they'll be busy in the in receiving the training program somewhere else, so they cannot come to the workplace and they cannot do their job. So there what happens, the output or the target of the employees, those who have gone for the training program, will be remaining. Okay, and definitely when they are not working in the organization, and when they'll not come to the work, when they receive the job knowledge, it's a kind of loss for the company, and they cannot able to achieve the expected production too, right? But in on the job training, what happens there, you learn at workplace, and there you know work. So you learn and you work there. Okay, so since you will be part of the production, you'll be part of the working environment. Okay, you'll be part of the business operation of the company in the on the job training. There you will be working on the production, even if it is slow also, but you'll be working, you'll be part of the business operation. But here in off the job training, all the trainees will be sent to the sent outside the organization for the training purpose. So during that time, the work of those trainees will be pending in the organization. So here no one is going to fill up that. Okay, that pending work. So even here we cannot see the production. Okay, here the production uh, will not be increasing, it will be same. Okay, so we won't find any changes in the production when it comes to off the job training. Okay, even here, even if employees will be sent outside the organization, and suppose so here the work, that work will be, the pending work will be done by them only after they come back to the workplace. Okay, so until they come back, here the work will be pending. So again they have to come back to the workplace, again they have to finish their target. Again, suppose if they are not able to work, then that work will be shifted to existing workers, maybe other workers. Even it's a kind of headache, it's a kind of burden for other workers too. And also here, even even employee, those who have you know sent to the training center, so we cannot say that all the time, always they learn, always they acquire, always they make use of the training program effectively. Sometimes it may fail also. They may not able to acquire the job also. They may not able to do their job perfectly even after having the off job training, even after having the classroom training. Okay, so if it is that, in that case, it's a kind of loss, it's a kind of uh, loss of time. Okay, here the company has invested its time, it has invested amount too. Okay, so when they invest, when they make investment of time and amount or maybe capital, when they don't get any return, then it's a kind of loss only. Okay, so that is how this off the job training, which leads to low productivity. Okay, so we won't find any production in the off the job training, while employees will be receiving the job knowledge somewhere else. That time they can't work in the organization. Since they can't come to the organization, the production of the organization or the company will be pending. Okay, so these are the disadvantages or drawbacks of off the job training. It is very important for any organization that once after they conduct the off the job training, it is very necessary to provide the practical knowledge to the trainees or to the participants or maybe to the employees. So that is how they can make use of uh, uh, they can make use of the job training with the help of practical learning too. Okay, they can easily apply the uh, theoretical aspects into practical things. So you just give them a time. You just once after they receive the training program, like once after they have the theoretical kind of training, then you have to train them practically. Okay, just have a induction kind of training for them. So then if that is the case, then it will be very easy to achieve the organization and also organization goals, and also you can achieve the company's expectations, and also you can make employees efficiently. And to conclude this, here in this digital age, so where everything is being digitalized and also the it is modernized, and these type of training have become standard form. Like I'm talking about on the job training and off the job training. These are very important for any of the organization, and there are cases when conducting an outside the training will not uh, suffice for the requirement of the job, wherein there is no other standard rather than opting for a crash course. For instance, a recruitment of persons for those jobs which need a heavy amount of correlating with the external clients, and hence it is the decision of the company. It's up to the company's decision to determine whether an outside or an offsite course is needed, and you know to achieve the organizational objective. Okay, so if you have any doubt, please you can post your comments below, and thank you for watching it.